Welcome to Business Africa. On our show today we have Mandeep Chaudhary, who is the Director of Branch Network and Sales of Barclays Bank, Mauritius. Mandeep, welcome to the show.
Morning, Yusuf.
Tell me about Mandeep Chaudhary.
Mandeep was born and brought up in India, and after that I worked across various functions of the bank. I worked across various geographies. My first interaction with bank was after my engineering, when I approached the bank to take a loan, and the loan was rejected. At the time, I wanted to understand the consumer bank in a more closer way. It also gave me an opportunity to work with the regulator in the enforcement wing. However, I saw the activities of the bank were from the other side. But my desire to understand banking moved me to do an MBA in economics and also in finance. After that, I have worked across our multinational banks, working in a volume-based environment in India. 2008, before our financial crisis, I was engaged in acquisition in Indonesia and also in Russia. I have worked in the different functions of the bank, which is the credit, the fraud risk, the working with the regulators, the operational risk. I have worked in different geographies. After 2008, our crisis, after consolidation phase, I would say, I have an opportunity to work in different markets of Africa, which is Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, Botswana, across Africa, where we have been present for around more than 100 years.
Mandeep, you got a very rich past and experience as well. If you were to look at Barclays, which is a multinational operating in Mauritius, what are the current plans or strategies in Mauritius itself?
I am humbled. I had an opportunity to work in different geographies. I think Barclays as a bank has the same approach across the globe. There are key 5 indicators which are driving us right now. The first is how to run a bank. I think after the global crisis, there is a erosion in the trust of what the bank does. The trust is the main ingredient of any bank. And that's the thing which we are currently working very tirelessly upon. We are doing values workshops across the globe. We are imbibing the same values of respect, integrity, service across all the employees of Barclays Bank. We are also seeing that how to run a bank in the right way. How can we as a bank be more transparent, more open, as well as more responsive to our clients. That's the first approach which we are taking, how to run a bank. And the second approach is how do we change the bank? The change the bank is, given all the modern approaches currently going on, every day I ask myself, how do we use the different channels to provide everything to the customer? Can I give a consumer loan out of ATM? Can I give our money out of internet? I don't know. I don't have the answers. Now these are things which we are driving right now. How do we change the bank? How do we provide all the services through the omni-channel, our retail, our networks we have? The challenges are difficult, but as a bank, we are currently working on how do we serve the customer across all the channels in the same way. The third thing is our products and offering. On the products and offering, there are about 3 distinct products which we have launched over here in our Mauritius. The first is the home loan. I think as a bank, it is our social responsibility to help people to have a home. We are the only bank which is currently providing the cheapest and the maximum duration loan. The other is a platinum card. For our affluent client base, we have to understand the requirement which is their continuous travel across the globe. We are the only bank providing air miles on a card. The third thing is we want to work with the corporate clients. How do we fulfill the banking needs of the employees over there? Where we want to be at the workplace of our corporate relationships, telling them how can we fulfill the requirements of the individual employees over there. And the fourth approach is that how do we change the banking across Africa? Barclays has a rich history in Africa. Over many countries, we are more than 100 years old over there. How can we provide multi-country banking to our customers across Africa? Our customers in like Mauritius, if they travel to Kenya, they should be doing the banking in the same way. And the final piece which we are currently grappling with is that how do we change with a changed environment? The regulators are constantly asking banks to change, and I think that's the right way to change. As a bank, we have a social responsibility not to allow to use our channel for any illicit activities. The accounts are constantly monitored. The compliance approach has increased. I think these are the 5 key ingredients which are currently driving our approach on the consumer banking across the globe, and particularly in like Mauritius on the products which we offer.
One thing you've talked about some very important aspect of banking. You talk about trust, you talk about consumer centricity, you talk about dynamics of change and understanding a consumer. You also talk about proximity of consumers. If you were to look at Barclays in Mauritius itself, we are in a very highly competitive banking environment, having over 20 banks on the market. What makes Barclays stand out in terms of product maybe?
As a bank, we have to start approaching the customer. It cannot be a push approach, it has to be a pull approach. We have to engage with our customers to understand from them what do they want from us. Can we as a bank fulfill those needs? For example, our customers we have, they travel quite often. Now, can we provide a product which is aligned to the requirement of traveling? Aligned to that, we have launched a platinum card, the Platinum World Miles card, which gives you world miles on every travel you do. Home, owning a home. I think when I owned my first home, we were so happy owning a home. Now, that's the experience which I want my customers to have every day. Now, how can I make a home affordable to my clients? Now, working on that, we are the first bank on the island which launched at the lowest rate for the maximum tenure. The third thing is that we have a corporate relationships we have. Now, can we give some differential products to the employees over there? Can we go onto their workplace on a day-to-day basis and help them and understand their financial needs and also fulfill those financial needs? And the finally is our internet banking platform. Around 2 or 3 years back, people were afraid to do banking on internet because it was so risky on that. Now, our internet banking platform is so robust that whenever you want to even log on to internet banking, you will get an SMS alert. SMS will give you a password which you have to put it onto your portal to actually enter over there. Now, these are things which we have to provide based on our customer's need, and only thing which will differentiate is that we have to be more closer to our customers, we have to understand their needs, and we have to be very quick in responding to their queries. We have to be quick in responding to their needs as well as what they want on a day-to-day.
In general, in the mindset of any consumer in the past was the bank at the center of everything, and what you're saying now is the consumer at the center of everything, understanding them. On the same line of thinking, how do you see the future of banking in general in terms of consumer attending to the needs, the specific detail, security aspect, technology? Can you tell me more how you see banking evolving, less brick and mortars, for example? Can you elaborate more on this aspect for us?
Yusuf, the past in the consumer bank was which established a long time ago. The branch served the transactions as well as your sales and service. What now we are seeing is that for last 5-10 years, your transactions are moving out of the branch to the ATM or to the internet banking. The branch will still be there, but branch has to be more aligned to the sales and service. How can we help the customers on the sales and service over there inside a branch? The banking is an area where in the past we have been unable to understand the customer requirements end to end. Have you to understand the different approaches they take to handle their accounts? Do they handle their accounts on internet? Do they handle their accounts on ATM? Do they handle their accounts on mobile? Or do they handle their accounts on the acquiring? Now we have also to understand what is the customer who talks about us on the internet page. What do they write about us? So as a bank, we have to understand the different touch points at the different points the customer interacts with us or even talks about us. Now that's an area where as a retail outlet we haven't done much more, and that's an area which would drive the way forward. I think there are many consumer durable companies which are excellent into this, and we are learning from the industry. How do we understand the consumer much more? How do we understand the consumer interaction with us much more? How do we work with the customer to understand his needs, understand his wallet's requirement, understand his financial requirements, to take a call which can help him to take a better decision on a day-to-day basis.
Mandeep, it's very interesting hearing that, and we've seen so far that that is what Barclays is doing. Barclays is trying to instill trust. It's trying to put this consumer at the center of its activity and understand the dynamics of change. Mandeep, it was a pleasure talking to you on the show, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Yusuf.